Buckeye fans, good morning as the Ohio State Buckeyes are fresh off of a hard-fought 14-7 victory over the Texas Longhorns in a game that had the eyes of the college football world on it. It was really exciting and a really good start for the Ohio State Buckeyes. This morning, we jump into the film room. It's going to be a very fun show. It's my favorite show of the week. And we dive in, we get into the details of the X's and O's of what we saw yesterday when the Ohio State Buckeyes took on the Texas Longhorns. And there's some takeaways that we'll get into here in a little bit. But if you're new to the channel, first of all, thanks for jumping in here this morning. This is going to be a consistent Sunday morning show. Usually tip it off right here at 10 o'clock, give you enough time to get ready for the NFL Sunday. Obviously, there's no NFL games today, but next week and the weeks to follow, we'll get it in at 10 o'clock. Get our review completed. Get you off and on your way to watch some more football. But all in all, yesterday in college football was spectacular. Obviously, it started with our game in Columbus, where the Buckeyes got that 14-7 victory, and then it went down to Tallahassee to watch Alabama take on Florida State and really get the break speed off of them. Truthfully, like Florida State dominated them after the first drive of the game. They really got after them pretty good, and then the nightcap was that awesome game down in Clemson between the Tigers and the Tigers. Clemson versus LSU, where Brian Kelly finally gets off the mat, gets his first victory, week one victory as the LSU Tigers head coach, and mixed in between that was just hundreds of awesome other games. And it was great to have college football back on the TVs for sure. And great seeing it all again. It was very fun to be down at the Horseshoe yesterday for that environment, which was second to none. It truly was. I know everyone's pretty much said it to this point, but it was an amazing environment that you fans created. If you were there, my cap to you because it was awesome. And as people are trickling in, make sure you're, if you're, like I said, if you're new to the channel, make sure you were subscribing to the channel, liking these videos, dropping in the comment section. We already got our guy, GOJ, in the comment section. Get him in there. We'll be pulling stuff up here. This is going to be a longer type episode. We're going to dive in. I got about 40 plays pulled, both on the offensive and defensive side of the football. And like I said, this is my favorite show. We're going to go in chronological order of the game. And I'll take you in, from my perspective, my experience being in these film rooms on Sunday morning, hearing the good, hearing the bad. What are the coaches telling these players? How are they telling it? And what are they looking forward to doing to continue to improve? Because that's all that this is about, right? It is put some stuff on tape and let's go fix it and continue to get better. Because if you heard Coach Day after the game, he acknowledged, just as every other coach in America did, that the team that is on the field right now for doesn't matter who, Texas, Illinois, Ohio State, Florida State, that team that's on the field on August 30th is going to be totally different from the team that's on the field on September 30th, which will be totally different than the team that's on the field at the end of December and into January. These teams are going to progress, continue to get better. Ohio State fans everywhere know this firsthand after what we experienced last year. So I'm going to take you through it as a coach would, and it's, like I said, one of my favorite episodes to get into here. So we're going to start diving into it now. A couple key takeaways that were just kind of overarching after I rewatched the game and then put our clips together for this morning's show was that the first and foremost, this Ohio State defense is going to be really, really, really good. Arvell Reese is a difference maker. Him alongside of Sonny Styles is like borderline unfair. These two guys are they're carbon copies of each other. It feels like they both stand at 6'4". They both fly around, and they get to the football with bad intentions. They're coming to inflict a lot of pain and separate the man from the ball, and they do it at a consistent, nonstop basis. Arvell Reese is a guy that you need to watch every single Saturday. You can't hardly miss him. He's in the backfield. He made a couple huge plays yesterday for the Buckeyes, and was just consistently all over the field. I had his numbers circled here, as you can see, a running solo on my side of things this morning. But I believe he finished the game with 9 total tackles, which was second most on the team behind Davis and Ignosin. We'll get into kind of what that means when your cornerback's leading the team in tackles, but a little bit different in this case. But Arvell Reese, 9 tackles, 1 sack, 1 TFL. on the day, but was wreaking a lot of havoc kind of consistently. So he caught my attention. The other side of the ball, a couple things caught my attention. They really had the training wheels on the offense, on Julian Sayin for sure, trying to keep him out of trouble as best they could. And they did that. I thought Julian played a very mature football game, took no chances, and the ball was absolutely never in danger, which is a good thing. That's a positive thing for sure. But I do think that they're going to have room to elevate. And frankly, they need to. They need to start elevating that secondary, elevating their play calling and allow Julian to kind of grow and stretch. And yeah, it's week one. It's his first start ever. Like that's kind of the building blocks of this. And I think that he infused a lot of confidence in his head coach and his play caller and in his teammates that he's going to protect the football and keep it out of harm's way for them. So I was impressed with that. On the negative side of the offense, this is the good part about winning football games is that you get to learn all these things and make all these corrections in a win. I thought in terms of the run game, it was a stalemate at best. And at worst, Texas kind of got after Ohio State a little bit in the trenches. I thought Ohio State's offensive line, the interior of the offensive line, has some work to do. Now, I say that understanding that Texas's front is like one of the best ones they'll see, and by one of the best ones, it probably is the best one. And Ohio State's offensive line has a handful of new faces and young faces in there as well. But I thought that Ohio State left a little to be desired. In terms of running the football. They finished the day with just 90 yards on 34 carries, but they did have a net of 77 yards. So they're averaging about 2.3 yards a carry. That longest run was an 8-yard carry. So not all that good. And you certainly are going to be missing the big play threat that you had with Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins last year. They're going to continue to replace that and do that in the backfield. But some room to certainly grow in the run game. And then on the outside from a receiver's perspective, Jeremiah, his 2 drops, they weren't going to be touchdowns, but hey, clean that up, dude. Clean that up. No more. That one of those things. That's all the coaches would say to him is all right, dude, no more of that. You're the best player in the country. Act like it, kind of act the part. But Max Clare, his drop on 4th down, that's one that, you certainly want to have back. But that's made up for by Carnell Tate. I can't say enough good things about Carnell Tate. He's one of my favorite guys. We did a press conference with him yesterday, or a media availability with him yesterday. He's so well spoken, says all the right things. But he finished the day yesterday with just 2 catches for 49 yards. But they were the 2 hardest catches on the field. They were the 2 hardest catches that any Buckeye had to make yesterday. The first one was on 3rd down, coming out of the red zone, where the ball was way out of bounds, and he ballerinaed his foot in, which was insane. And then that touchdown catch was woefully underthrown ball that he adjusted to, jumped. The ball got tipped around, and he double caught it, which was insane. It's insanely impressive what those guys can do. So we're going to dive in to the tape here. I'm going to pull it up here, and I want to just acknowledge one thing as we get going here on this side. I have 2 screens going, so as you guys are all in the comments section, please keep them coming. I'm going to kind of jump back in at the pause of every quarter. Okay, so when we do that, I'm not going to be able to see them live, but I will be jumping in and out of the comment section here. So 1st and 10, first drive of the game, first play of the game for Texas, and Ohio State gets lucky here because they have a really nice play drawn up, and Arch just short arms one. And this is where you feel like, hey, the moment was a little too big for Arch. There were some times where yesterday, especially early on, he certainly came into his own towards the end of the football game. Had a couple of really nice completions late, but some of these early throws and early decisions led me to believe that he wasn't comfortable at all with what he was seeing, and you could see it when he was making these throws. This is this is day one stuff right here. His guy's wide open. You miss this throw by 4 yards. Ball landing on the 40-yard line. Needs to be, if that ball's right here, this is a big chunk play for Texas to start, and instead he dirts it, and it skips by his receiver, and now you start to then doubt, right? All of the hype surrounding Arch and the conversation this morning, wherever you listen, whatever you whatever shows you listen to, all the conversations around Arch are, hey, the national media were the ones that hyped him up. Like, let him learn how to play football and let him do it at a high level. Because yesterday, it was not his best effort, certainly not his best showing at all. Now, third downs. Okay, you'll hear me if you continue to come back to our film review episodes. Third downs are money down. Okay, it's the most important down for both the offense and the defense. And what I said one of the big keys was going into this game was that Texas had no idea with how Matt Patricia was going to handle key scenarios, just because we haven't seen it. There's literally no tape on him calling a college football game, and he certainly mixed it up. So 3rd and 4, this would be a 3rd and short scenario. Potentially classify this one as 3rd and medium. Ohio State's in clear man coverage. Okay, so you're getting some kind of a man here, you're getting man-to-man here, you're getting man-to-man here, get man-to-man here. You'll see this throughout the game. Texas did a lot of man beaters, a lot of crossing routes that Arch just really truthfully couldn't hit. And this one right here, everybody's covered up. That's the main takeaway from this game to yesterday, was that consistently every time Texas dropped back, their guys were covered up, and Ohio State was plastering. Like, this isn't open. That's Caleb down. So that's certainly not open. This throw's not open. This throw up here, potentially, it got him coming on like a dig route. Maybe open if you can stay in there. Your throw down to the bottom of your screen is dead. And then this check down up here is it would be tackled for a short gain. So you see Arch get through his progression. Look, nothing is open. Nothing. Nope. Maybe this throw, but that's a tough throw here. And then Arch gets to it late, finds his tight end, and zips one in there. Nice pass, nice catch. They get a generous spot to move the sticks, but it was a very consistent thing all day where Ohio State was just covering up dudes, covering up guys kind of all throughout the field. Now, in the run game, I think that Ohio State's got some stuff to do to work on, because Texas found a little bit of something in the run game here where their successful gains were on a lot of counter action, where they would set the strength of the defense to one side. As you can see it here, this is like their fullback right here, and it sets Ohio State's strength. So you can see they got 4 down linemen, and then their second level guys, because they have all these defensive backs, like this is a linebacker. I believe this is Arvell right here, and then I believe this is Sonny right there. But they're on the other side of the half line, okay? All of them, you got 6 guys, or 4 guys to this side, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are in the box. And you only have 2 up here with an add-on that's your cornerbacks. So what does Texas do to attack this? They set the strength and then counter off of it. You're going to get, let me get all those off the screen. You're going to get a pulling guard, and you're going to get an extra add in here to clean up, and you'll see a nice chunk run. Sonny does make the tight end pay here. If you watch this H-back, number 88, Sonny makes him pay with this stick right in the hole, bang, right there. But the truth, or the result remains. This is a big lane. You could drive a car through this and then a one cut and up the field. This is a chunk play that Texas kept coming back to time and time again, because they did find something with how Ohio State was aligning. Now, I don't know if that's a scheme thing for the Buckeyes. I don't know what the teaching point was on that, but that's something they're certainly going to have to keep our eye on. Okay, this is where it got fun. 3rd and 8. You can't quite see it, but it's 3rd and 8 down here at the bottom of your screen. And Ohio State started having a little fun with some of these NFL-style blitzes. So they mug up their linebackers, okay? This is here's Arvell right here, and this is a play I want you to watch Arvell on. And they mug their linebackers up, and then what that does is makes your offensive line have to communicate. So now the offensive line saying, all right, we're going to have these 5 guys right here, and then running back. If this guy adds on, right, whatever the call is, if this guy adds on, he's yours, okay? So that would be the protection. Or the offensive line will identify, nope, hey, running back, this is your guy. We'll take the other 3 on the line, and then if this linebacker adds on, he's ours. But you're responsible for this guy because you're right here. So whatever their call is, when you mug up these linebackers and put them on the line of scrimmage, it makes you get into it right away. And what that does for the defense is allows you to drop out of it, kind of screw with the quarterback size, especially a young quarterback who may not have seen something like this. So you see the drop out here. We get a fly out there. So, okay, immediately, like if they identified him as one of the line guys, Texas is now down a guy, because that one guy on the line of scrimmage is now dropping back. and Ohio State still just rushes 4, right? They use a simulated pressure to rush 4. It's a normal rush. They get to drop 7 in coverage, still get all of their coverages taken care of, but do so in a sound way. So then Arvell Reese, this guy, here I'm talking about. Watch him, just him versus this guard. He just like, bang, one hit, punches him, gets him off, and throws him away. I'll let this run through. You can see it here. This is a tackle, actually. Bang, throws him right off, and now he's running down the quarterback, like not allowing you to see. As a quarterback, this sucks, right? He's not arch, bad snap, catches it, not even to the top of his drop, or he didn't even take a drop. That's a song for another time. But now he's got a free runner, which is one of the best athletes on the football field. So he has to escape, and again, 3rd and 8, everyone's covered up. He checks it down, and Texas sets up a 4th and 2. Now, 4th and 2. Here we go. This was the turning point of the game. Not this specific play, but this situation, okay? Ohio State was – you can make an argument. If you just looked at the stats, you would say, oh, my gosh, how much did Ohio State lose by? Because they were outgained 336 yards to 203. They were outrushed 166 yards to 77. Texas averaged 4.5 yards a pop to Ohio State's 2.3 yards a pop. And if you go down line by line, one by one, Texas won every single statistical category except for 2. They threw the interception, which we'll get to in a little bit, and they were 1 for 5 on 4th down. 1 for 5 on 4th down. They had 5 turnovers in the football game where you only score 7 points. 2 of those turnovers were in the low red zone. One was goal to go on the inch line. The other was 4th and 3. So when Ohio State needed to make a play, they did it. Very similar to last year, right? They had a couple massive stops, goal line stops that they capitalized on, and they had a couple here today. But that was the difference in the game. Here's the first one, 4th and 2. Texas is going to try to run it right up the gut. Looks like they didn't account for, again, guess who? Arvell Reese. Biggest play right here. This gets things going for Ohio State. He makes a huge hit in the hole, and it is cleaned up there by Caden Curry. And the Buckeyes are buzzing. The Buckeyes are buzzing. That stadium's going berserk at this point in time because they stopped the Longhorns on their first drive, and it's time to flip that thing around to the Ohio State offense. Now, the Ohio State offense. I think that room to improve from a play calling perspective. Again, I think they were trying to protect Julian a little bit, make sure that he is comfortable, make sure that he didn't have too much pressure on him to make big plays. So this is the very second snap for Ohio State, right? 2nd and 8, second snap of the game. Watch the physicality that Ohio State brings to the table. Watch this from Luke Montgomery. And I believe this is Carson Hinsman and Luke Montgomery. Like, this is what a double team looks like. We'll just run this through. I mean, unbelievable. Like, they're playing this right now in the Woody. Like, they're just playing this on loop. Like, this is big boy foot. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. They literally, he's on skates. And Luke Montgomery tweeted, got him on skates. And this is exactly it. Like, he can't go anywhere. And then you look around the rest of the offensive line. A little stalemate with Tegra, but the Ohio State offense is finishing. The offensive line is really finishing hard, finishing strong. Really good to see. And a nice solid run. And then sets up a 4th and 1. Now, this one is one that's going to be a learning experience for Julian. Also, got to make the play. So you're going to get play action in the backfield. I actually love the call, right? It's early in the football game. If you don't get it, it's not the end of the world, obviously, right? Proven out by the final score yesterday. But if you do get it, or it's a really good chance to take a shot to this guy. When number 4 is on the field, I'm looking for him any chance I get. So what we're going to do here, we're going to get hard play action, okay? So we're going to get hard run action here. Julian's going to come out, really sell it like they're trying to stuff it in there. And then Jeremiah runs this sick corner post and just kind of really not a corner, just kind of works and leans on his corner. And they vacate the middle of the field, and he's kind of running scot-free, where then Max Clare is coming on this over route, getting over to the other side of the field and making himself available. This one felt like to me that it was kind of like predetermined by Julian, because he gets out of it, hard fake, and Jeremiah wins. Like, I wish I had the back view of it. Jeremiah wins and wins big. Like, this could have been a touchdown, which would have totally set the Ohio Stadium off. Like, it would have went nuts. But instead, he decides to throw it to Max Clare. Not a bad decision, okay? Not a bad decision, as you see when this thing, it's a little glitchy right now. Apologies for that. Get off my Wi-Fi on all my other stuff here. But little glitchy. I mean, it's a good throw, right? Good throw. This ball needs to be caught. Like, it's very simple that this football needs to be caught. As you can, I'll run it back here. It's going to run through a little bit better. There we go. This ball needs to be caught. It's right on Max Clare's face. He tries to get his foot down. Instead, he bobbles the football. This was one where it's like, hey, we missed one here. We missed a chance to make a big play. But again, not the end of the world. All right, coming out, drive number 2. Now you're backed up. Texas gets the ball back. Obviously, they punt it. And Ohio State's kind of forced to a coming out scenario where you're backed up inside your own 10. What do? Let's get the ball to number 4. All right. I wish this wouldn't have taken a drive. Like, it's been 10 minutes. You can see the kind of on the ticker here. It's been 10 minutes of gameplay before Jeremiah touches the football, but he gets it here. Now, Texas is playing fast and playing physical. You see their corner makes a big hit here on Brandon Innes. Ouch. That hurts. But Jeremiah makes a nice juke move. He's special, man. Even though he struggled yesterday, had a couple drops, like, this kid is special. The stop and start, the jukes, the elusiveness, the quickness, everything about him is just so damn good. And he's fun to watch. So they get him going a little bit now on 3rd and 3. This one's good. All right. Hey, what do you do to a guy who just dropped the football? You come right back to him. Now, this is a route concept that they run often. You're going to get kind of, I called it drive. I'm not sure what they call it, but when I played, this was called drive, where you're going to get a 10-yard in route, and then you're going to get a 5-yard in route as well. So it's kind of a levels concept. You can see Jeremiah actually in the slot. He gets pushed off. This is bad. This is actually bad by him getting pushed off that far. Really cloudies that picture. But again, feels like Julian kind of predetermines this a little bit, because in my eyes, like, this isn't open right now. Like, I'm not throwing this thing. But he does squeeze it into a tight window. Like, okay, that's a tight window throw. That's a good throw. I don't know the decision. I'd love to hear him explain the decision. But regardless, he fits it in there, splits the 8 and the 6. Very nice throw. Very, very nice catch. And on a big play, like 3rd down, getting that first down when you're backed up like that is the goal, right? When you start a drive inside your own 10, the goal is it on that drive, like, isn't a touchdown. Like, yes, if you score a touchdown, awesome. Like, if you go on a nice long drive, that's amazing. The goal is, hey, 2 first downs, just to give yourself some breathing room so that you can flip the field, because it's really tough. So they get that first down. Now they're set up in 3rd and 11. Okay, go a couple of plays ahead. Set up in 3rd and 11. This is a dual screen, all right? So you're going to have a screen to the top, something like this, where they're screening down below, right? We're screening. There's a key, right? Whatever that key is, likely it's this defensive end. If he gets width to the screen, you flip your hips, and then you're running a screen back this way, where this half of the field is running a similar screen, where then Jeremiah comes back through. So you got 2 options as a quarterback. You'll see him drop back, look left, and, okay, this defensive, I guess it's a linebacker, gets width with the screen option to the top. So Julian's quickly off of it, right? It's dead. He's going to flip his hips and come back. Now, free runner. This is scary. You flip your hips, he can't even see it. He just turns his head back the other way, and he's got a dude right in his face. Does a nice job to get it away. Now, this play isn't going to go for anything. Like, this isn't likely going to be a first down, but got to have it, 4, hey, just catch it, right? Like, just look it in. You're the best ever, right? Just catch that thing. Look that thing in. Catch it, and then go make your move, then go make your play. And my guess is Jeremiah ain't going to drop too many after his 2 drops that he had yesterday. So Ohio State does their job. They get out of the shadow of their own goalpost, but leave a little bit to be desired there after that drop there on 3rd down. So all right, finishing out the first quarter here. Awesome stuff here again by this defense. Now, look at this rush package. Okay, 3rd and 8, right? What did we talk about? When you get into these 3rd and longs, that's where Matt Patricia can start cooking a little bit. You can get some of these NFL-style blitzes and pressures in here. So just look who's rushing. We got Caden Curry at the top, Atkinson here in the middle, and I believe this is Kenyatta on the edge. This would be what's called like a NASCAR package, right? Where you just bring your best pass rushers in here. Now, here's Arvell Reese right there over top of the guard. Okay, again, how is he going to factor in? Well, he's just going to blitz. And behind it is, this is awesome. Here's your dime look. All right, here's Here's Devin Sanchez at the bottom. I believe this is Jermaine. Here's Davison in the slot here. So it looks like we're getting man. Looks like Sonny is manned up here. Looks like we're manned up here, and then we're getting a 2 high shell. So it looks like we're getting 2 man. Let's see if that plays out. Kind of a little matchy up top, like they kind of floated up top, and actually they zone off down here. So they would have got me confused. I'd probably throw a pick on this one because I just thought it was man-to-man. It certainly was not. But what Arch doesn't see too is just no comfort here. Just like no comfort at all. And why should he be, right? This is a decent pocket right here. If he just stays, like this is actually, like if he stays right here, he's fine. Okay, if he just stays, and he likely has a throw right here, he maybe at least has a check down here. But the point remains, like this is pretty damn covered up. Like it's covered up. But Arch gets out of it quickly, and the result is that he brings the sack to him. Now, the good part is that Ohio State rushes with like zero relent. They are relentless in their rush. And Arvell tries to get a win up this way. He doesn't win. He spins off. And when he spins back off, he gets a sack here because he just stays going. He just stays at it, stays at it, stays at it. Here we go. Arch steps up. Arvell spins. Bo pushes him back this way. Like, bang. Like that's a well-done rush by the entire Ohio State defensive line, and one that looked really strong there. So they punt it back. Again, when we talked all week long, like this was going to be, in my opinion, a sloppy game. And it was a sloppy game, especially to start. Like there hasn't been much from either side in this first quarter that you're like, wow, that's amazing. Now, Ohio State, good job here of getting Jeremiah going, okay? So get him in the slot. So normally he lines up on the outside. But when you move a guy down into the slot position, whether it's 2 or 3, it can make it a lot harder for the defense to not only identify him but cover him. And then Ohio State uses a little motion to get him to number 3. And then they just run a simple concept, okay? And you're going to see it actually come up again a little bit later on where Julian misses one. But I call this Hank. And, you call it whatever. It's the NFL term of it's Hank, where you get number 3 just running 5-6 yards over the football. And then number 1 on this side, I actually love this from an attached tight end. He gets a little spray release, gets up to 10 to 12, and then runs a curl. And then number 1 on this side runs a curl route. And then your back is going to be in the flat, and then you're going to be in the flat here on this side of things. So it's just a very simple read, and really nice job by Julian. Texas vacates the middle of the field with the blitz. Boom! Once you see both those guys blitzing, you're at the top of your drop. I love this from Julian, right? Love this where he gets to the top of his drop. He doesn't take an extra hitch. He plants that back foot and sticks in it. Boom, right on time, right on target. Give number 4 a catchable football. This kid's special, man. There's just little things that he does that's special, like no wasted movement, right? Catches it immediately, his foot in the ground. Like before he turns, foot's in the ground, he's going forward. Like that type of stuff is like, it's nothing like groundbreaking, but it's just what he is as an athlete, his wherewithal to know that, hey, I'm good. Like I can make this catch, turn, and go. Gets him in a good spot, and moves the sticks, gets him rolling just a little bit. So we flip it to the second quarter. Jumping into the comment section. We're in here. Goj, really appreciate it. Listen, Arch has been in the program for 3 years. I ain't trying to hear it. Yeah, I wouldn't argue that at all. I will say this: if you weren't there yesterday, crazy environment, like really challenging, loud as heck. Certainly something that definitely played a factor, which is good. Like that's what home field advantage is about. But I can certainly get behind that comment there. A couple others here. Yeah, so some good stuff. So, hey, as people are jumping in, make sure we're getting into that comment section. Drop some stuff in there, and we'll pull it up. So, Ohio State flips the field over, and here's their long drive. All right, so we get kind of going on a long drive. Now we get a little. There we go. Get a chunk run here. Ohio State kind of uses a little bit of what Texas uses. We get a little bit of that gap scheme action, get a little of that pool action here where you're getting the tackle to insert, you're getting the tight end to insert, and the running back's going to chase right up behind it. And we get a nice block there. Bang, good one. Boom, 2 really good ones. And that hole is skinny. Like that is a tight hole right there. But good job by James Peoples to get in there, be very decisive in his cuts, jump off. I mean, that's a really nice run. And I'd say that's a great great 4-yard gain, or 5-yard gain. I guess 6 yards. I'll get it right at some point. It's a great tackle from the safety of Texas here. Really, really nice tackle there. But really good job. It's Will Kazmarek as that insert guy. Does a really, really nice job creating just enough space for people to get in there and get out of there real easily. Okay, Buckeyes, 3rd and 4. It's a big play. They catch a break here because this would have been another punt back to Texas. But instead, we get a face mask here on the bottom of your screen. You can see it actually right now, right? Hands on the face mask. I'll get off, and you can see it ripped right off the head. I believe it was Philip Daniels playing tackle. And, just get lucky, truthfully. Like, hey, good for us. Because it's a good ball here. It's a really hard catch. This is one that Brandon probably wants back. Like, the standard for Ohio State receivers is to catch this. And it's a totally unfair standard because this is a ridiculously hard catch, right? It's a really good throw. Really, really good throw. It's great coverage. But we're so used to seeing Emeka make this catch, Jeremiah make this catch, Carnell make this catch. Excuse me, even Brandon make this catch. Like, this is one he would probably want back for sure. There's Lee Corso right there. I didn't even talk about this. Like, that was really cool yesterday. But probably one that he wants back, but doesn't make the catch. If we think it's 3rd down, all of Texas thinks it's 3rd down. But flag on the play, and Ohio State gets a fresh set of downs. Then we get into another penalty that moves us up a little bit. Again, here's that Hank concept. Very similar by very similar, they run it the exact same way as they did. This was Jeremiah a couple plays ago. The tight end was attached here. Now we're getting that same motion out. We're going to get this same concept here up to the top. We're going to get the curl. We're going to get Jeremiah on a curl. You're going to get tight end into the flat, and then you're going to get this action right here. And what I want Julian to do on this one, okay? Your pocket's good, dude. Pocket's good. Stick in it. And what we want to teach on this is that we're working towards what we're going to call the squeeze, okay? So in our scenario right now, who is guarding the first read is our over the ball, okay? If we were to freeze it right here, our first read's this, all right? The guy guarding him is right here. He is vacating this side of the field, all right? So when he vacates where my cursor's at, it's got to be an immediate tell for our quarterback, okay? Immediately, right? I'm going to get to the top of my drop, all right? I don't love that hitch. Hey, trust yourself. This is the experience that he'll get by doing this, by playing it. I want you to trust yourself. Boom, you're fine. Stay there. You're good. Don't move. You're good. Now let's go through our reads. Maybe if you want to offset just a little to the right, just to open this throwing lane because this is a hard look for you, fine. I'm good with that, but don't be antsy. Now, the squeeze of Texas is from this side. So what did I say? We want to work towards the squeeze, right? When I work towards the squeeze, I have this right here. Here's my throw. Okay, it's to the top of my screen. All right, the ball is put here, and it's a nice throw. Now, what we get here, and this is a challenge for some young quarterbacks, is falling in love with number 4, right? I would love throwing to number 4. And sometimes we get into like, I got to get it to him. I got to force it to him. I'm going to double clutch. I'm going to roll out. And now it's all over the place. And Julian just throws it away. So if it were me, and I'm not sure, but I'd be coaching it like this. All right, dude, hey, pause right here. We're working towards our squeeze, and the ball is out to our receiver right here. I believe this is Carnell. Carnell right there. Ball's out to Carnell. He's catching it. Does he break the tackle? Maybe. Does he get the first down? Likely. But a learning experience. Hey, trust the pocket. Your guys are good in front of you. Don't create pressure by moving and be really good in the pocket. So Ohio State gets a fresh set of downs because there was a hold on Jeremiah. And now they are in the red area. This is a good run here by CJ, right? CJ Donaldson, he has been billed as the power back, all right? He's the guy who's going to get you 2 yards, cloud of dust. He does a good job. Will takes a block there. That hurts, but you do it for the team. You do it for the boys. And then this is a funny sight. Like, I just can't imagine running and being like, all right, free runner, free runner, free runner. Oh, I'm going to cut inside. Nope, free runner, free runner. Like, this is a scary situation for just about anybody. But CJ puts his helmet down, gets that first down, sets you up with a 1st and goal. Then we move it to 4th and goal. Just like simply have to score. You have to score in this situation. Ohio State does enough to punch it in. Carson Hinzman's in there. Love to be a body on a body somewhere, but the hole's big enough that CJ gets in. The boys are buzzing. Ohio State up 7-0 in the second quarter here. So good drive there, aided by the penalties a little bit, but hey, penalty's a penalty, and both of them were penalties. So now Texas's ball, flipping it back the other way, 3rd and 3. Okay, just nobody open at all. And here come the Ohio State pass rush. Arvell Reese, man, again, he's at the top of our screen. So where's he rushed from, right? He's rushed from the interior. I showed him as the interior rusher where he got his sack. Showed him as a linebacker, kind of faking a blitz. Now he's just rushing off the edge like a defensive end and winning against the right tackle, or excuse me, a left tackle. Like, I mean, come on, what do you do? Like, how do you attack this? You just don't. He's a freak. I'd like him to make this play, but hey, you got him off your spot. You did your job. What I do want to go back to is just plastered coverage. Like, you're not throwing it here. This isn't open. Whatever this route isn't open. Maybe if this receiver's coming in on an in route, that's open, but it don't look like it. Arch has to escape the pocket. He does so, and Arch is athletic. Say what you will about him. He is a good athlete. He gets to the edge. He pays for it. All right. Lorenzo Styles makes him pay for it. But he does move the sticks, gets the first down, and is going. Now, this is my favorite one of the day. This is my favorite blitz of the day, okay? This is NFL as NFL gets, all right? Shout out to Fox for identifying where Caleb Downs is on the field. So here's Caleb Downs. Yes, that's Caleb Downs lining up as a defensive end. Yes, that is exactly what I said. I do believe this is Caden Curry right here. Here's Kenyatta Jackson. So you have two defensive linemen on the field. The rest of them are linebackers and defensive backs. And it's just an unfair thing that Ohio State has. Like, this is just the personnel they have is just quite literally insane. So where does Arch get got on this one? Well, let's run the play, and then we'll break it down. All right. There's Arvell Reese. Here's another sack for you, kid. All right, here's what happens. When wherever number 2 is, that's where your eyes start as a quarterback, right? Whatever your first reads are, like, hey, I'm going to look at the corner. He's giving me zone look. This is fishy right here. This would be the tell for me, right where my cursor is. Here's the tell, and I'll get to it. Then, so you see your first identifiers. Then you find number 2. All right, number 2 is down on the line of scrimmage to the right. They want my eyes there. The defensive coach wants my eyes to look at number 2 and be scared about number 2. Why is he on the line of scrimmage? I'm looking at him. I can't figure it out. Okay, the result is when we snap the football, I'm worried about number 2. Arch's eyes go to the right. Look, he's looking right at him, right? Looking right there. Everybody drops out. There's Caleb drop. I guess this wasn't Caleb. They misidentified it. But Caleb was still, that's not Caleb. This is actually Caleb here. But Caleb's still down in the box, okay? He drops out. Sonny drops out, all right? You're getting the drop out, all right? And then you're actually getting your defensive end here to drop to the flat, all right? So what does that mean? It means that Ohio State's bringing a blitz from this side, all right? So now you're seeing an add-on here, okay? And then that's Devin Sanchez, right? Future superstar at Ohio State. He adds on. Actually, Texas does a nice job of picking it up. And then Arvell does this loop game around Kenyatta. Kenyatta comes in. And now Ohio State's rushing just 4 guys, all right? This is a 4-man rush. Kenyatta actually does a bad job. Kenyatta's got to be here. As you see Caden get to the top side, that's his gap. Kenyatta's kind of got to be like right in this region here as Arvell is rushing up the field there. But this is now a 4-person blitz, 4-person pressure, and now Ohio State's dropping 7 into coverage, okay? And Arvell gets the sack, still is a sack, but that's just a schemed-up pressure by just messing with the quarterback's eyes. Hey, something's going on over here. My eyes are going to be there. And then the real blitz is coming from right here. And why this is very fishy to me is that everybody else is in kind of a zone principle. Like, this is zone posture. This is weird, right? Why is this weird? He's kind of covering up. He's covering up on top of this guy. Well, that makes sense. Hey, my trigger's got to go off. All right, he's in a weird posture. He's looking straight at me. The blitz is actually coming from here, and Ohio State's going to rock the coverage. You see the coverage rock. You see the blitz come. Ultimately, Texas does actually kind of pick it up, but Ohio State kind of covers it all up. I'd like this check down if I'm the quarterback's coach at Texas. I'm checking this thing down, getting the first down. Instead, we're getting sacked because, hey, we're confused. Our eyes are telling us something that is actually not happening. So Texas punts it back, and now Ohio State coming out. This play's sick, all right? This is one of Carnell's 2 catches. Really gutsy throw here by Julian, right? This is a scary spot. I'd like him to – I'm probably throwing this thing away. Like, this is scary right here. He knows, though, like he's buying time, drifting backwards. He's buying time because he knows this comeback's coming, and he just floats one out there. This is a quarterback's dream, playing quarterback at Ohio State, just floating one like this and having your receiver go up, make a catch, get his foot down. You're like, what? Like, how does this – like, excuse me? This is insane, this catch. This catch is nuts. And does a really good job. And it's just an 8-yard gain or whatever it was, 6 yards. But an unbelievable catch by Carnell. Really well done there by Julian to buy time and give a ball that's in the general area of his receiver. Carnell goes up, makes a play. What did I say earlier? When you're in those coming out such situations, this was if the first down marker is at the 12, this drive started at the 2. Get one first down. That's our goal. Get one first down, and then we and we win the drive. Ohio State does that. They punt it back and flip the field position. Now we get a huge gainer here by Arch. 2nd and 13. Ohio State dials one up. Again, simulated pressure. They're only bringing 4, right? You're only bringing 4 guys, so you're dropping 7 in coverage. 2 of those guys dropping into coverage are your defensive ends. Like there's Kenyatta, there's Caden Curry, but you're getting 4 guys on a blitz. And you're getting 7 guys in coverage, all right? Ohio State covers everything up, but Arch does a nice job. This one's kind of bad by Kenyatta. Like, he's got to make this play. Like, this can't happen right there. That can't happen. That's something they'll correct. They'll clean that up for sure. But a nice gain there by Arch. But, again, really good defense by Ohio State. Like, I'm just going to continue to say really, really good defense by the Buckeyes. Now, this is the start of the third quarter, okay? So this is – Ohio State went 3 and out on their first possession of the quarter, and Texas does just kind of run it down Ohio State's throat, right? They just kind of run it right down the field, and you'll see it here. Here's that counter action, right? What did I say earlier? They found something where they offset. This is a really good look at it, right? They offset the strength. Here's your tight end. Here's your H-back. Here's your running back, and Ohio State matches the strength, okay? If you just went right down the line or right down the midline, Ohio State has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the box on that side of the line, just 2 on this side. So what does Texas do? They run counter. They run counter back at it. You're going to get a pulling guard or tackle, whatever, and then you're going to get an insert here by your tight end. Yep, here comes the guard. He gets a body on Arvell. There's the insert on Sonny, and we break it to the outside. And a nice run and finish with strength. Sorry if it's a little glitchy. For whatever reason, that play was giving me fit. So just a schemed up, really schemed up thing that Texas found. All right, big stick by Sonny here. This is a good play. 2nd and 6 to set up a third down. This is again another mistake by Arch. He drops back to pass, and again everything down the field is covered up. Right, nothing here, nothing here. Again, Ohio State's dropping 7 guys into coverage, getting pressure with 4. Like if they can do this all year, like. Good luck to anybody because that's impossible. If you're getting good pressure with 4 guys, it's impossible to be successful again. So Arch steps up again. He's antsy as shit. Excuse me. He's antsy as heck. This pocket's fine, right? The throw is not to the running back. The throw is out here to the flat because there's nobody within reach of the flat, but he's very antsy. He's gun shy at this point, 6 of 11 for 22 yards and 1/2 of football. Get you scared. The way Ohio State's playing gets you scared, not confident in what you're seeing. And he checks it down to the running back, and Sonny makes him pay. Man, that is a stick, man. Sonny Styles, fun to watch. He is a fun player to watch. I love that he's wearing the block. What did he do yesterday? Solid day for Sonny. Decent day. 2 tackles, 3 assists, 5 total, and then nothing, no PBUs, no nothing there, no TFLs. So decent day there by Sonny, but a big stick there to get it to third down. Now, here we go. We're setting it up. Third and 2. It's a big miss inside. This is one where we went back, okay? Ohio State wins in the interior, right? They didn't win much. This got to be a TFL. This is a TFL. This is an auto kick, right? They're kicking the field goal and getting Texas off the field. Like, that has to be a tackle. I know it's a hard play, but that's just got to be a tackle. Good cut by the Texas running back. He gets north and south and turns a 3-yard loss into a 8-yard gain. So when you miss tackles like that you do tend to play for them or to pay for them. All right, big gainer here by Texas. Nice play. This is just an extended. This is the 2025 version of the triple option where you're reading the handoff so he could give it on this wide zone action. Okay, if this defensive end collapses, the quarterback can pull, and then Texas has a block on. And if now reading the second level defender, if the second level defender wins up the field, Arch can just run. If the second level defender commits to Arch, he'll throw it out to the flat here. And you can see the pool, he gets outside of him. Lorenzo actually slow plays it. Like in films today, they're probably telling Arch to just, hey, dude, let's just take 6 yards, slide, get down, don't take a big hit. But Lorenzo plays it well. He throws a good ball out to the outside. Davison, get him down, right? Good tackle. Actually, good tackle. I take it back. Good tackle there. Nice play there by Davison just to get him down. And now this is a big sequence right here. 3rd and goal for Texas. And they kind of stack up. They stack up the running back in the backfield. And I'm curious. We'll never know, but I'm curious if he gets stopped right here and it's 4th and goal from the 5. I'm curious what the play call is. I'm also curious if they kick it or if they go for it. But instead, running back breaking the tackle, chugging his feet, He gets hit. Caleb Downs adds in. Texas is still pushing. And they almost push him across, but really not actually solid job in there. There's the running back's head right there. They kind of turn him back and don't let him cross that goal line. And they set up a 4th and inches where, this is something. Look at this. This is a picture. That's football right there, man. That's as good as it gets. That's as good as it gets. Hey, who's going to win? Who's the tougher team, right? You do all that work in the offseason. You lift, you run sprints for inches, right? Coaches always say game of inches. Well, here's your game of inches, right? It's 7-7. Who's it going to be? Who's going to be tougher? Bang. Ohio State. Look at that. Everybody across the line of scrimmage. Arch just got the football. Just got the football, right? And he tries to go to the right side, can't get there. Caden Curry stuffs him immediately. Everyone, there's just a scrum of humanity, mass humanity everywhere. And Ohio State stuffs them on 4th and inches. Ends up being a huge play, huge play in the game for obvious reasons. But as the game finishes out, right, that's the second time. Well, that's the first time that Texas turns the ball over in a goal-to-go scenario or a scenario where they're inside the 5-yard line. All right, Arch, here we go. 2nd and 12. Now this is where the arm talent now, which is something that this is a mistake that I didn't see. I didn't think Arch had in him because, look, we're blocked up. Texas or Ohio State, Caden's trying to get a little pressure. This is a holding for sure. This is also a holding for sure. But there's not too much pressure on Arch. He has a clean pocket. This throw is just bad. This is just a bad football throw and a great play by Jermaine Matthews. He almost got 2 great ones. This was the first of them where he just jumps the route and makes an awesome play on a woefully underthrown football. Woefully underthrown. This is bad. This ball, if anything, he's running this comeback. This ball needs to be here. That's your aiming point for this football, not here. And it makes for a very easy cut in by Matthews, and he does a nice job to make the play, get the job done, and turn the ball over. Now, third and 4. Okay, right in this scenario, what do we see Ohio State do? They ran a little man coverage action, and you're going to get Texas in something similar. They're trying to disguise some stuff, but Ohio State runs their drive concept. Right, I drew it up earlier. You're going to get it again. Okay, you're going to get it again. Here's your in route there by number 2, and then you're going to get JJ on a 5-yard cut. If you're there early enough on game days, on Saturdays, this is a play that this is the first, when the receivers come out of the locker room, this is the first thing that they do, right? This is the first route that they work on, and it's boom, it's right there. JJ just uses a little bench press action to get his guy off him, flat down the line, look the ball in. Anytime he gets the football, you're winning. And he gets across the first down, moves the sticks, and it's rolling. Now we go to the 4th quarter. Now it's winning time for Ohio State. And who do you go to? Right? We just went to Jeremiah on 3rd down. Now we're going to go to Carnell. Carnell Tate one of my favorite players. I said it at the jump. One of my favorite players on this team, and makes just an unbelievable catch. Like, this catch is insane. Good play action, right? They've been running inside the tackles all game long, and now they're going to take a shot. First real shot of the game. Like, this is the furthest ball. I mean, this is the only one that Julian kind of threw down the field. Probably this ball, truth be told, this ball needs to be like here. That's where you kind of want this, so that Tate can just kind of run underneath of it instead of it landing at the 4-yard line. You kind of want it to land on the number, so you can just kind of run into it. Instead, I don't know how you do this. Like, somebody explain this to me, right? Like, what is this? Like, how do you make this catch? Like, you're in the air, getting pushed, ball's kind of floating around, and he hauls it in. Like, this is not real. This is a superhuman play here by Carnell. Just totally insane, really unbelievable play, and a guy that you just absolutely love on your team. He's on any other team in the entire country, he's the best player or he's the best receiver. Just on this one, he plays behind Jeremiah Smith. So hey, he'll be number 2, and he'll get a lot of advantageous matchups because of it. All right, now Texas backs against the wall. 11 minutes to go in the game, and Arch starts to rip it a little bit. Arch starts kind of warming up, and he talked about it in his post-game presser as well. He's like, hey, obviously let the team down. Like, that part was obvious, but he, in the fourth quarter, really picked it up. Now he just needs to do that the entire rest of the game. Like, at this point, he's got 43 yards passing. He finishes with 170. So he has 130 yards passing in this fourth quarter. And it wasn't like Ohio State just kind of like let stuff happen. He did make a couple good throws. And here was one of those where, again, Ohio State 4-man pressure, just did it with different guys. Arch does this is a really good job by him to just move in the pocket, right? Reestablish himself there. Like, that looks like Uncle Peyton right here. Is just move in the pocket a little bit enough. And there you go. You reset and you just let one rip. And this is a big boy throw. Now this is opposite hash to opposite sideline. Like, this is big boy stuff. And he puts it on the dot. Good throw. I mean, nothing you can do from a coverage perspective. Like, that's totally fine. Now, this one, he's going to want back, and Jermaine Matthews wants this one back because this is freaking awesome by number 7. All right, whatever Texas's run action is, they get like this fake rollout thing up top. Now, they're going to get a flat threat and something to come inside. So it actually ends up being just an in route here, and maybe it's a curl, but it feels to me it looks more like an in. And then number 0 is just kind of in the flat trying to grab Jermaine. Instead, Arch really predetermines this one, like predetermines the heck out of it, and Jermaine almost makes him pay. Like, he is staring this thing down. This is not open, right? And he gets a little pressure, but he rips this thing. He takes a shot. Like, that's no fun. This isn't fun for anybody. But Jermaine, man, he undercuts this thing. This would have been a sweet interception. Instead, he just pops it up, and almost like Sonny wants this one. Like, they're playing this in the defensive meeting room. Like, they're laughing about this one because that one, you got to make this catch. And obviously, it was called an interception on the field. Went to review, and they did overturn it. But really good play by Matthews. Almost an awesome play there by Sonny to make a play there for him. But it does hit the ground. Still a really good PBU, and one that would have ended the game, but allowed Texas to stay in it just a little bit longer. Now, again, okay, this is what Ohio State's been doing really great for 2 straight years, and they do it great again. All right, 4th and 3. Very clearly, we're manned up everywhere. And you just have a robber in the middle of the field. So we're man to man. All right, and Texas runs a very standard man beater concept, and it just doesn't win. All right, I called this under with these 2 guys, where you're going to get a rub here with number 2. Number 1's going to push out and then rip back inside on like a looping slant route to just kind of brush past, and then they're actually going to run a corner here, which I don't hate. And then likely, I forget what this guy does, but I believe he would probably wrap back around and try to work his way open. So you see, boom, there's the under route, and this is what they would call, this would be offensive pass interference if this would have got called or if this would have got thrown. Now, you probably are throwing this, like, this has to be on time, on target, because this safety would certainly make him pay. But if you're on target with this and on time, this is a first down, and maybe if it's a good throw, a touchdown. Instead, Arch goes to the corner, throws the corner route. Now, this has to be a perfect throw. It's a good throw, but it's an impossible catch. Like, you can't – like, this is on the quarterback. Like, hey, ball out now. Like, ball should be flying right now if you're the offensive team. Instead, Arch elects to go to the corner route, kind of floats one up there. Really good coverage. Really, really good coverage. I believe that was Davison. Yep. Hey, anytime down in the red area, this reminds me of the Penn State game last year where he made that big play on the interception. Hey, you try number one. He's really hard to throw it against. So now count them up. You had a goal line stop and a 4th and 3 from the 8-yard line inside the low red area that Ohio State was able to capitalize on. And the difference in the game, because here comes Arch and the Longhorns. This shot was ripped. This is a great throw here by Arch, and one that gets you like fired up about him if you want to be. But we get a little post route. Good, really good route here. Nothing Ohio State can do. And you're getting, for Ohio State too, at this point in the game, like they're playing off. Like, hey, just no big plays. Like the only thing that kills you is a scoring drive that's 30 seconds, which there's foreshadowing for you. Good route here where he kind of pushes out to very similar to the one I drew up for Jeremiah, where he kind of leans on his defender to the outside and then rips back inside. Good throw, good timing. If this was a tighter coverage here by our safety, this is a collision, and it may be an interception, but instead it's a big hit, it's a big gain, and Texas is now kind of driving a little bit. And then the very next play, or 2 plays later, here comes the big one. Really good route concept here by Texas where they do the switch release. These bunches are tough, and we'll see them often throughout the year because you have to cover them in certain ways, and they're really tough to communicate. But you get the stack with the receivers and then the bunch by the tight end, and then you get this switch release wheel right in here by the point man. Which, man, if you snap it right here, you take this mental picture. You're like, yeah, probably nothing's open. I'm certainly not throwing it to the guy that's covered running the wheel route. But at the very last second. Arch gets this thing away, and that's Davison. Like that is almost did he come from the corner position? He did. This is sick. I didn't even see this blitz. Here you go. This is a sick blitz off the edge there by Davison. They definitely called it out because the tackle's eyes go right to him, but it's still a really nice blitz. And then Arch, here he comes, and he's got plenty of time. He just gets it away, throws a good ball up there. Wasn't even a great ball, just a really nice catch. Really good catch, and Texas is on the board. Now, what did I say? The only thing that kills Ohio State is a quick, 30-second scoring drive, which it turned out to be a 30-second scoring drive. And then Ohio State goes 3 and out, and now it's nervy, right? Everyone just about 10 life minutes ago was like, all right, we're good. Ohio State's rolling. And now you're like, oh, God, here we go. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. Texas got a timeout. Like, that's an eternity in college football. And even though they have to go 85 yards, it feels like they could do it. And they get a huge chunk play. This throw was sick. Like, this is the best throw of the day by all quarterbacks. Again, Texas run the wheel route. Really good concept because they basically take this guy and try to block off the safety. Ohio State goes into a cover 2, which you'll see here. Bang, deep shell, deep half. And then this corner plays the flat. Now, the rule for the corner is don't let anybody outside of you. Right? If you let somebody outside of you in your blind spot, you're giving it up. Well, immediately that tight end gets to his blind spot. And look, you can see Arch is ripping right now. The top of our screen, the tight end isn't even past the cornerback, but the cornerback can't see him. So he has no feel on him. And Arch puts it. This is a dime, right? That's a dime shot. Lorenzo Styles, I mean, this is one where, in today's day and age, like in old days, this is a headshot, kill shot type thing. Today's day and age, this is really hard, and he does what he's supposed to do. He kind of avoids. It's tough, man. That should be a kill shot hit, but he doesn't. He does not do it. Huge chunk gain for Texas. Now this is the big one that's gonna stick out to me. Okay, Ohio State rocks their coverage, right? Texas motions out, uses motion to kind of dictate Ohio State's defense. And I talked about this a little bit ago. Ohio State, when they played man, Texas tried to kill it or beat it with some of these crossing routes. Okay, so this motion dictates the man coverage. You can see Caleb right now. He's pointing. The safety's going to rock here. Caleb's going to rock to the middle of the field. Now, I want you to count. I want you to take this mental picture, and with Caleb rocking towards the middle of the field, you're going to get a drag route or a deep, kind of an over route here by this tight end, and then they're going to run this guy flat across the line of scrimmage. And actually, it's not him. It's number 3. You're going to run him flat across the line of scrimmage. And our guy, I think this is Davison up top, gets picked off. You can see, here's Davison. He's responsible for this guy right here. And he gets picked off. Like, totally cut loose. Like he's supposed to be, number one is supposed to be attached to the hip of this guy right here. If this ball is completed, right, Caleb Downs is in the middle of the field. If this ball is completed, there is a lot of real estate. There's a lot of room to go. Instead, it's behind him. You can see Caleb's shadow right there. Bang. So Caleb's making this tackle. This isn't initially when I saw this play the first time, I was like, oh my God, this would have been a touchdown. It wouldn't have been. Caleb makes this tackle probably at the 30, at the 42-ish, I would say, but it still moves the sticks. And it's one that, hey, I don't know what it, like, you talk about fundamentals. Like, let's watch Arch's throw here. Like, horrible drop, lazy drop, and then like that right there, that ain't going to do it. That ain't going to get a cut right there. We're just going to drop our arm slot and try to place one out there. That ain't going to cut it. And he misses behind him. Would have been a first down. Caleb makes this tackle 100 out of 100 times, but it was a missed opportunity there for Texas to keep the drive going. And then this is as good as it can be. The guy who ends it is C.J. Hicks. Talk about a guy who loves being an Ohio State Buckeye, from Ohio, kind of got bounced around. Former five-star guy, like, was a higher recruit than Sonny Styles, who was in his class, got moved out of the linebacker room, now is playing defensive end. Hey, number 11, go end this thing, right? Just go end this thing. Here we go. Right at the bottom of our screen. You're going to get a free runner. Boom. Get your hands on him. Make the tackle next time, dude. Come on, make the tackle. But awesome job. Actually a solid catch, but great tackle there by Caleb. Fists go up. It's Buckeye football. That is the end of the football game there. So a lot of good there from Ohio State. There's a lot of things that I think that they're in the film room today, correcting, trying to get right. Here, I'm going to get my screen right at some point. I lost it. There we go. We'll finish on this screen, even though I'm a little off-centered. But they're in the film rooms today, and that's kind of what it's going to feel like for them. It was some good, a lot that they can still continue to work on. But when you do it in a win, that's the main thing, right? You make these corrections and you're 1-0, right? If they're 0-1, it's a totally different feel to the program today, and to practice and everything today. So fun episode. Love doing stuff like this. I love getting into the X's and O's of what we saw yesterday. Try to make sense of it because, like I said, this team's going to continue to evolve. What we saw in this session here is going to be totally different than what we saw or what we will see next week, the week after, and then when Big Ten play starts in about 3 weeks now. So really fun, great crowd in here this morning as we kick off our Labor Day weekend. So hope that you all are able to enjoy some time off. Last little bit of summer. I know it was like fall yesterday, but last little bit of summer. So get outside. But make sure if you're in our show today, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. It's really simple to do. Hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, drop a like in there. Always appreciate it there, and drop a comment. Really love interacting with you guys in the comment section. So let us know what you think. But ultimately, Ohio State moves to 1-0 after they take down the number one team in the country. It's crazy. This stretch, we talked about it on our post-game show yesterday. They go Michigan, they go Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame, Texas, all in their last 6 games, and they have 1 loss on that record through that. It's pretty damn good. Ohio State football is rolling. Up next is Grambling State next Saturday, 3:30 kick down at Ohio State. So it'll be a fun one there. Obviously, maybe not so much the hype that yesterday was, but always good when the Buckeyes are back in town. So I'm getting out of here. Enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy your Sunday. And until next time, appreciate you hanging out with us here on the Ohio State Buckeyes on SI YouTube channel.